Wilmington is about to change fast, and I'm not talking about one shiny new project. I'm talking about several mega projects stacking on top of each other, all within the same window of time. The Cape Fear Memorial Bridge replacement, Amazon's massive robotics fulfillment center. You have Novant Health. You have Project Grace. The new downtown library is already open as of last fall, and the Cape Fear Museum is targeting a July 2026 opening just steps away. So when you look at what's already real, what's already funded, and what's still in approvals, a very clear story starts to emerge. And that's why in this video, I am going to be breaking down which of these mega projects will reshape traffic, convenience, and demand the most heading into 2026 and beyond. Hi, I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty. I help people relocating to the greater Wilmington area make smart coastal decisions with the real costs in mind. So let's start with the project that will impact the most people day to day because it touches the main river crossing and fundamentally changes how Wilmington and Brunswick County are connected. I am standing right beside the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. It's a 0.66 mile bridge that carries US 17, US 76, and US 421 across the Cape Fear River, built back in 1969. So while the existing bridge is structurally safe, it's reaching the end of its life cycle and requires increasingly frequent maintenance and inspection. Replacing it is a $1.1 billion project. The project received a $242 million federal large bridge grant in 2024 and has $85 million in state funding committed. That's roughly $327 million toward a $1.1 billion price tag, which means there's still a significant funding gap to close. Tolls, likely around $2 per passenger vehicle, are now being seriously discussed as part of the funding solution. So why this matters for real estate? This is not just a bridge job. The Cape Fear Memorial Bridge is the artery that connects two counties and the route people take to get to work, the beach, downtown, the hospital, the airport. All of it runs through here or near here. There's significant uncertainty about timing. Environmental documents are still being completed. A preferred alternative hasn't been selected. Funding is still being assembled. The three real estate takeaways. Commute predictability becomes a bigger demand driver. When cross-river access is uncertain, the neighborhoods with the most route flexibility, meaning multiple ways to get where you're going, tend to hold their value and attract buyers faster. Two houses a half mile apart can have very different commute stories depending on which approach roads you're closest to. Buyer regret risk rises during the messy middle. The most common mistake I see is buyers purchasing based on today's drive times and not thinking through how they'll move around the region during multi-year construction phasing. Port of Wilmington, intermodal rail yard, and harbor deepening. What it is. The Port of Wilmington is a major East Coast freight hub, and right now it's in the middle of a significant capacity upgrade. You can see it in the background behind me. The $22.5 million intermodal rail yard expansion broke ground in fall 2024, and as of early 2026 is on track for completion this summer, June 2026. It adds 4 new working tracks with a combined length of 5,000 feet, and it's going to expand the port's intermodal rail capacity from approximately 14,000 container movements annually to more than 150,000 TEUs. Alongside that, there's the Wilmington Harbor Deepening Proposal, a plan to deepen the navigational channel from its current 42-foot depth to 47 feet, allowing the port to accommodate larger, deep craft container ships on U.S. East Coast Asia trade routes. Why this matters for real estate. Port expansion projects create what I call economic gravity. When freight efficiency improves, you attract more logistics companies, more warehousing investment, and more employment. That employment brings workers who need housing. The intermodal rail expansion also directly reduces truck traffic on regional roads, which matters for quality of life in the pockets that currently absorb that freight movement. Now let's shift to the private development story, because there are several new residential and mixed-use projects in the pipeline that are going to reshape the lifestyle map of Wilmington in very specific ways. So I'm standing on Military Cutoff Road in front of the site that is to be the Avenue. The Avenue is a high-end Class A retail and lifestyle corridor development planned for the Mayfair Eastwood area. The target rollout is this year in 2026 phases. But let me say this, I had an update about this last summer and have not seen any public reports about it since. The land behind me has been cleared, but construction has not yet started. So why this matters for real estate? This isn't just more retail, this is a lifestyle anchor there. We don't have anything like that here yet. And it's the expansion of what's already Wilmington's most lifestyle-driven submarket outside of downtown. So this is one of
4 big projects affecting the Mayfair-Wrightsville Beach corridor. So we have the Avenue, the Haven,
and the Drysdale Extension and the Eastwood Road overpass. We're going to look at all 4 of those today. I'm standing on Wrightsville Avenue, just off Military Cutoff Road before it intersects with Eastwood Road, and I am at the Haven. This is another project you'll hear a lot about, especially if you spend any time near Wrightsville Beach. This is the redevelopment of the old Galleria Shopping Center site on Wrightsville Avenue. The plan here is a large mixed-use project. It's about 500 to 700 Class A apartments along with some retail and commercial space. And this is one where you may actually notice activity already. You can see it behind me. It's being built. The site has been cleared, infrastructure work has started, and it's starting to go vertical. So you'll see changes as you drive by. And the developer committed to a large replanting plan. It's a significant redevelopment of a very high-profile site, and it reflects the kind of growth Wilmington is experiencing. As of now, this is still a phased project, and the timeline is not fully locked in, but it is moving forward, as you can see, and it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Wilmington International Airport, or ILM. It just completed a $69 million terminal expansion in 2023, adding gate space, expanding the ticket lobby, improving baggage handling, and adding concessions and seating. That project was funded through a combination of $40 million in federal funds, $16 million in state funds, and $13 million from local and other sources. You can see the big crane behind me is an ongoing project. So ILM didn't stop there. The airport is now well into a phase 2 project totaling $130 million, which includes a new parking garage, renovated terminal entrance and exterior, an expanded rental car facility, and a complete redesign and lengthening of the terminal curb front. That work broke ground in 2025 and is expected to wrap up by March 2027. And beyond that, a third phase is already in the design stage, a terminal expansion that would add 3 new bays and 3 new gates, bringing terminal capacity to 1.6 million passengers. Here's the number that puts all of this in context. In 2025, ILM saw more than 907,000 enplanements, a 67% increase from 2019. The airport now has 29 nonstop flights, up from just 9 a few years ago. It's been one of the fastest growing airports in the country. So here's what I've noticed working with relocation buyers. How easy it is to get to and from ILM matters more than people realize. Not just for moving here initially, but for their ongoing lives. For the people visiting from back home, for the weekend trips, for the business travel. When an airport is scaling the way ILM is scaling, it's not just growing to accommodate demand, it's also generating demand. More direct flights means more people discovering Wilmington on those flights. Now, let's get into downtown, because Project Grace isn't just a library renovation, it's a re-anchoring of what downtown Wilmington means as a daily destination. Project Grace and the Grace District near Cape Fear Community College in downtown Wilmington and near the Brooklyn Arts District. New Hanover County has redeveloped an entire block in downtown Wilmington. The north side of the block, facing Grace Street, is now home to both the new main library and the new Cape Fear Museum facility. You can see the new library right behind me. The new main library officially opened on October 6, 2025. The Cape Fear Museum, currently closed at its old Market Street location while it moves and installs more than 400 artifacts, is targeting a July 2026 opening at 230 Grace Street. The new museum space is 3 stories and more than 40,000 square feet, and it includes a 60-seat digital dome planetarium, the first planetarium in Wilmington. The south side of the block is planned for a future mixed-use development, which Cape Fear Development will build within 2 years of acquiring it for no less than $3.5 million. Why this matters for real estate? Civic anchors create repeat visitation. A main library is not a special occasion destination. It's a Monday afternoon destination. A major museum with a planetarium becomes a weekend routine, a school field trip magnet, a reason to park downtown and walk around. Downtown proximity gets repriced by routine access, not just by address. The blocks that plug most cleanly into the Grace District corridor, with parking that makes sense and connector streets that don't frustrate you, those are the ones that capture the proximity premium most directly. The library is already open. The museum opens in just a few months. By summer 2026, you will have a fully realized cultural campus in downtown Wilmington. That's really cool. Now let's talk about the project that Wilmington's business development community is calling the largest economic development announcement in regional history. Now I'm just north of downtown Wilmington across the river to the west. Project Whale Pender Commerce Park. what it is, Amazon is building 2 facilities right now on the New Hanover-Pender County line just off US 421. The first, internally called Project Whale, is a robotics fulfillment center that will be more than 3 million square feet across 4.5 floors. The building shell is complete, and it's behind me through these woods, and the target launch is fall 2026, just in time for the holiday season. This facility alone will create more than 1,000 full and part-time jobs in our area. The second facility is a 142,000 square foot delivery station, also under construction on the northern edge of Pender Commerce Park. It will add approximately 100 more jobs, and the delivery station's foundation is complete and construction is progressing. Why this matters for real estate? This is the project that a lot of people underestimate because it's in a business park, not a neighborhood. But let's follow the jobs. More than 1,100 jobs are coming online at Pender Commerce Park in 2026 and beyond. All of them need housing, and the demand is arriving before much of the new housing supply gets delivered. And now the anchor that I think is the most durable demand driver of everything we've discussed, because healthcare employment doesn't disappear in a downturn, and it brings people who become buyers. So we're going to travel over to Novant Health in downtown Wilmington. Now I'm on the southeast side of downtown Wilmington. Novant Health, over $1 billion in Wilmington area expansion. Novant Health's Board of Trustees approved a comprehensive master facility plan for the Wilmington coastal region in February 2026, a phased investment of more than $1 billion over the next 5 to 7 years. So let me walk you through what's actually in this plan, because the details matter for real estate. First, a new heart and vascular patient tower on the South 17th Street campus. That's where I'm standing. This will consolidate all inpatient and surgical cardiovascular services, inpatient beds, surgical suites, catheterization labs, and electrophysiology labs into a single purpose-built facility. The target opening is 2031. Second, a second 80,000 square foot heart and vascular medical office building in Wilmington, because the current facility on Physicians Drive is already at full capacity. This one expands outpatient access. And third, a brand new 60-room physical rehabilitation hospital on the Wrightsville Avenue campus. And fourth, reconfiguration of 2 floors at New Hanover Regional Medical Center to optimize surgical and diagnostic services. And separately, beyond the New Hanover County investments, Novant also announced plans for a brand new hospital in Leland in Brunswick County. The Novant Health Leland Medical Center, a 20-bed hospital with a 24/7 emergency department, planned for a site near US 7476. If the state certificate of need is approved, this could open by January 2030. Why this matters for real estate? Healthcare creates what economists call durable gravity. It's not cyclical. It doesn't pause during a rate increase. It brings physicians, nurses, technicians, and administrators who relocate to be near their workplace. And it brings retirees, a significant portion of our buyer pool, because they choose to live partly based on proximity to medical care. So what does all of this mean for you? For buyers, how to avoid regret, buy the daily routine, not just the listing. This is the single most important thing I tell relocation buyers. A place that looks close on a map can live very differently once bridge phasing, detours, or cross-river choke points show up in real life. And in coastal North Carolina, your routine isn't just your commute. It's how often you'll use the beach, the intercoastal, downtown, the airport, and the hospital. Run your real routes at the times you would actually drive them. Not on a Tuesday morning when you toured the house, on a Monday at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. when the school buses are out. If you're considering anything along the Highway 421 corridor, north toward the Amazon campus and Pender Commerce Park, understand that this corridor is about to see more freight activity, more employment growth, and more traffic. That's not necessarily bad, but it is something to factor in when you're making a decision on where to live. Expect corridor-based pricing separation. Big infrastructure and anchor projects don't lift everything equally. The areas that plug into the easiest routines, clean access to the airport, to the hospital corridor, to downtown without construction interference, those tend to separate in value first. The areas that absorb new friction during the construction and transition window tend to soften first. Understand timeline risk, not just the concept. If you can tolerate a few years of construction access changes, bridge phasing, or a corridor that hasn't fully arrived yet, that's often where the strategic buyer finds their opportunity. Waiting for the perfect headline usually means paying the full premium. For sellers, how to position and time it, sell the future convenience story. With honesty, buyers in this market, especially relocation buyers, are increasingly paying for predictability, clean cross-river access, proximity to healthcare expansion lanes, easy routines tied to downtown amenities and airport access. process. Your job as a seller is to help them see how your specific property fits into that story. Just remember, don't make the mistake of overclaiming. The better approach is to be honest about what's real now, what's in motion, and what's still in planning. Be objective. Let buyers know what's happening and let them decide how that works for them. Time your listing around your goals, acknowledging milestone moments. Visible progress changes buyers' psychology. When Project Grace's library opened in October 25, downtown felt more real to out-of-state buyers who'd been watching from afar. When the Cape Fear Museum opens in July 2026, there will be a window where downtown momentum is at a conversational peak. When Amazon begins hiring at the fulfillment center like mid to late 2026, that's a milestone moment for the 421 corridor. If you're thinking about listing in the next 12 to 24 months, it's worth having a conversation about which of these milestones aligns best with your property's story. Be honest about the trade-offs, especially with relocating buyers. The more honest you are about the friction, the more confident buyers become about making the decision. You'll find the right buyer for your property if you share this information up front. And that's exactly the kind of conversation I have with every client I work with. Let's look at the facts, the good ones and the complicated ones, and make a strategy first decision from there. These projects that we talked about today and others are going to help shape the Wilmington area's economy, its infrastructure, and of course, neighborhoods around them. So whether you're buying, selling, or investing, where you position yourself now is going to determine exactly how much you benefit later. So if you're thinking about buying in the Wilmington area or the Brunswick County side or Pender County, use the link in the description to schedule a quick call with me. I'll help you map the real routes you'll live on, the project timelines that are actually locked in versus still in planning, and the trade-offs so you don't find yourself in the wrong pocket right when the friction shows up. And if you're not ready to reach out to me yet, no problem. Look for the link below to download my North Carolina coastal town location decision guide. It'll help you get an idea for where you fit best. I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty, and I help relocating buyers and coastal homeowners across the greater Wilmington area make strategy first decisions with the real costs in mind: flood zones, insurance, traffic patterns, and long-term resale. Tell me your target price range and a lifestyle you're looking for, and I'll tell you what buyers are doing in your specific pocket right now. And as always, I'm offering you an authentic coastal luxury experience at every price point.